Three, two, one. We are live. Hello and welcome to PropTechBuzz, a podcast channel where we talk to PropTech founders and CEOs from all over the world and learn from them insights about running PropTech businesses. Today, I'm very excited to have with me Uday Simha. Uday Simha Prakash is the CEO of Nemadi. Nemadi provides
Sorry,
a unique
sorry, that is Nemmadi.
Nemadi.
Nemmadi,
Ah,
Nemmadi
okay.
is a Kannada word that means peace of mind.
Peace of mind, nice, and rightly so, because because this is something. So Nemadi provides a unique pre-delivery home inspection service for all your apartments, for villas, for bungalows, all kinds of residential places, including commercial, I suppose. But we'll clarify that during the conversation. Um, and yeah, with that, let's welcome Uday to the podcast. Uday, welcome to PropTech Buzz. How are you doing today?
Thank you for having me, Ravi. It's nice to be here. I guess it's early in the morning for you. It's about
It's 7 a.m. in the morning, yes, and because it's winters, it seems far too early as well.
yeah, it's about
um,
noon here, but yeah, it's okay.
nice,
Yeah,
cool. And Uday, this is your headquartered in Bangalore, I suppose, isn't it?
that's correct. In Bangalore, India, this is where we are headquartered at.
Excellent. So why don't we, before we dig into Nimadi, let's begin with your transition story, your career, and how did you move into building your own business with Nimadi?
Okay, so my education and what I'm doing right now has almost no, there is no intersection. The Venn diagram has got no intersection.
Mhm.
I have a bachelor's in chemical engineering from Tumkur near Bangalore. Then after that, went to the US to do my master's in mechanical engineering and energy processes. This was at SIU, as Southern Illinois University, Carbondale in Illinois. I was there. I finished that. After finishing that, I realized it's not something I wanted to work in. So then
Mm.
I did my second master's in computer science.
Right.
So I did my computer science master's there. After that, I moved to Europe to work in computer science. Moved
Ah,
to Prague, moved to the Czech Republic, where I was for a while. After being a few years in the Czech Republic, I went to Amsterdam in the Netherlands. From Amsterdam, I moved to India in the end of 2009, December
mhm.
2009. Jan 2010, April 2010, I started working in a construction project management consulting firm in Bangalore that is run by my father. So he has been running one of the oldest and most well-known construction project management consultancy firm in India.
Mhm.
It's called A.N. Prakash Project Management Consultants. When I was part of that organization, we realized that we had a lot of people who were interested in quality as a
Mhm.
deliverable, just quality for an apartment or a villa or whatever that they bought.
Mm.
So over a period of time, then I started that. It's 7 years now since we started Nemadi, and that's exactly what we give. We give our customers total peace of mind.
Got it. But Nemadi was never part of the deliverable of your father's organization. Am I right?
No, Nemadi was not. Nemadi is a different company in itself, is a
Right.
different legal entity in itself. Is a brand name under another legal entity, and
Mm.
A. Prakash is a different legal entity. They provide project management consulting for, and we provide only quality services. So we
Okay.
provide quality uh, at any point in the life cycle of the construction of a building.
Got it. So usually, whenever there are, how first of all, what triggered to make that decision to build something of your own, and how did you focus out of all the ideas that must be running on your mind on what to do if you wanted to become an entrepreneur? How did you pick this stream or this sector or this kind of problem that you wanted to solve?
Uh, see, being part of the project management consulting organization and being in the management, we saw that there was a lot of people who wanted to understand if there was somebody who could give a quality audit to their apartment or villa that they bought, which our parent company was a PMC for. But we
Mm.
couldn't have provided the quality audit for a project where we had already done PMC, because that would be a conflict of interest.
What is
So,
PMC to do with?
project management consulting,
Okay.
right?
Got
So we started providing this service, and we realized that there are a lot of people who are interested. The first kind of service that we started was, we say Ravi was to buy an apartment, right?
it.
If you buy an apartment today, you will either ask your father, your uncle, your brother, bhanja, bhatija, somebody to help you do a check of the property to see whether it is okay.
Yeah.
There is no technical way that you perform the audit.
Mm-hmm.
What we do is we perform a technical audit of your property using a proprietary app that we have designed and developed
Okay.
that generates a curated checklist specific to each apartment configuration or villa configuration, which then gives you a annotated visual report,
Mm.
which you can then pass on to the builder or developer for them to make all the changes. Now, that's where we started originally. So then we started people getting, and today we've helped over 6,000 individual homeowners.
Mm. Nice. So when you began, what was the status quo like in the market? Like, how was auditing being done? Was it
Uh,
still through the naked eye? I mean, they used to inspect and they used to assume this is the what the status of the quality is? What was status quo then?
Even today, predominantly, a lot of people do not know that there is a service such as home inspection that
Mm.
they can avail, or they can engage a consulting engineer, like a consulting engineering firm like Nemadi, for them to get total peace of mind, right?
Mm.
What's happening is the status quo, as you said, a lot of people would just buy or take whatever the builder said was the property. Nobody questioned it, nobody checked it. One, because they didn't know they could. Two, they didn't have the know how to do it.
Mm.
Yes, you have a lot of engineers who are there who would take a camera, who would take an Excel sheet, and then provide the service. But today, we use an app which generates all of this. It saves a lot of time. When we started, one engineer would take 2 days to perform an audit.
Mm.
Today, one engineer is able to do two apartments in one day.
Wow.
Okay, and because it's all app driven, a lot of
Mm.
things are automated, and a lot of things give us a lot of data. And as I was saying, there was a logical progression that happened. So say at least in India, you have apartment complexes that are 100, 200, 300,000, 2,000 apartments.
Right.
Once we started providing this audit in one apartment complex, you
Mm.
had about 100, 200 customers who would come to us.
Mm.
Then they would realize that this is something that they found interesting. But
Mm.
over a period of time, when it came time for the association to form and the whole society to be taken over by the builder,
Mm.
they asked us if we could do that.
Nice.
Then we logically progressed into that, and then we provide that service. We call that Resident Welfare Association Handover Takeover Audit. So we
Nice.
help the association from taking over from the builder.
Got it. Could you get a little more descriptive on what exactly does? Do you have one app? Are there multiple apps?
No, it's just
What?
one app. It's one app. So the app itself is like a framework.
Mm.
So we have our team at the background, which sits down, and if Ravi comes and says, I have a 2 BHK or a
Mm.
3 BHK, and then we ask you for your configuration and we'll ask you for your plan, we take that, and based on that, and based on the specifications that your builder has given you, and based on everything else that we have spoken with you, we set up the app on the back end on the console, which then gives the app to the engineer on the ground. So they see a curated checklist specific to Ravi's apartment or Ravi's villa.
I see.
Okay. Now, if they are doing an audit and the Resident Welfare Association, then we set up the audit checklist for the Resident Welfare Association, where we
Okay.
will check for your STP, your WTP, your DG sets, your electrical panel, stuff like that, right? That's MEP. Then we check for dampness and cracks. So it's a very detailed audit for a RWA. So it would be anywhere between 1 and 2 months. whereas a home inspection is just for 4 to 5 hours.
Oh, did you say a few months?
A resident welfare association handover takeover audit,
Uh-huh. It takes, okay.
it takes about 6 to 8 weeks.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
But a
Uh,
home inspection for an individual apartment or villa
right.
can start from between 3 to 4 hours and go to up to 6 to 7 hours, depending on the size.
Correct. So maybe we can go a little technical. So what does the app perform? So you said it's a checklist. So checklist, I understand. But does it do certain kind of heat map? Like how does it measure the dampness? Does it do
Yes.
within the app, or an app is a checklist? Maybe
So,
you can get a little technical about your app.
so the app basically is a checklist that runs based on the configuration of the apartment.
Got it.
So it's a
Yeah.
very specific checklist. Now, for example, if you say you have 2 rooms, then each, to give you an example of how detailed it is,
Hmm.
a 2,000 square foot apartment, we will check about 1,500 points.
What does points mean?
The checklist consists of about 1,500 checkpoints.
Okay.
Okay. So, for example, are all the screws present in the hinge?
Hmm.
Is the stopper working properly? These may seem trivial, but
Yeah.
it is required to check.
So
Somebody has to check it.
So each of these screws would be one checkpoint. Is that how it
No,
is?
check the screws is one checkpoint. Check
Ah,
the weep hole is one checkpoint.
wow,
Check the sliding door panel is one checkpoint. Check the flooring hollowness is one checkpoint. Like that.
wow. So, for example, I'm curious about dampness. How do you measure the dampness? What does your app do to measure the dampness?
So we use a thermographic camera
Hmm,
to measure the dampness.
got it.
Then we use thermographic camera in conjunction with a moisture meter,
Ah,
because a thermographic camera will only tell you if some spot is colder or cooler compared to the ambient.
got it.
But you can also have an AC duct flowing cold air on the wall, which would
Hmm,
mean that that spot is cooler,
got
which
it.
doesn't necessarily mean that it'll be damp, right? So you
Got
need to have a moisture meter to check whether it's damp or not.
it. Got
So
it.
this then gives you a report together.
Got it. Your
And
website. Yeah. Go ahead.
we also, we also measure area as mandated by RERA. RERA now is Real Estate Regulation Authority,
Right.
which has mandated the definition of a carpet area,
Hmm.
right? That's the least common denominator on which a builder will be able to sell their property.
Okay.
So that is what is needs to be measured. So we will be able to measure that and give you. So say for example, you've paid 10,000 rupees a square foot and you've bought a 1,000 square foot apartment.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if you're 3 square foot short?
Hmm. So you measure the carpet area with the help of the app as well.
We measure the carpet area using a laser measure,
Hmm.
right?
Nice. Are there other players as well? I'm just curious on
There
the
are
kind of.
many players in the market. We are one of the oldest and the most established players.
Got it.
Our lineage gives us the advantage of having worked in various types of projects, so we know what quality signifies. Now,
Got it.
we all of us come from a background of having worked in this project management consulting firm,
Got it.
so that gives us the advantage of looking at different types of projects, hotels, hospitals, schools, malls, movie theaters, residential complexes,
Right.
everything. So we know what quality is and we know what to look for.
Nice. What about the ecosystem? Are there more players like you? You said you are
We
one of the
are one
oldest,
of the
but
most highly established and the oldest. Yes,
got it.
there are other new players in the market. As long as the market is fertile and the
Hmm.
market, there is a lot of work to be done, there will
Right.
always be other players who will spring up.
Got it.
Right? The people ask us, why are we so expensive?
Hmm.
Our answer to that is, uh, one, the work that we do is meticulous, the work that we do is to the point, and more importantly, like when you buy a car. For
Right.
the Indian market, you have a wide range of cars, right?
Right.
You can buy a Maruti at one end.
Right.
You can also buy a Mercedes at the other end.
Right.
Now, it depends on what you are in the market for.
Right.
If you're in the market for a Mercedes, we are happy to help you. If you're in the market for something else, there are other players in the market who can do service for you.
Got it. So the deliverable of an audit would be a printed sheets, I suppose, with the
We
clear
don't print anything. It's all a soft copy.
got it.
Everything is shared as a PDF document.
Hmm.
So all of our is a visually annotated document which has got a timestamp, which has got a description of the problem, and
Hmm.
also a potential solution to the identified problem. And we
Ah,
also have a priority based on whether it's low, medium, or high, which there's an indicator that says what the priority of the snag identified is. Now, say you have a slope that is running the wrong way in a
mm,
wet area in the bathroom, that's a high priority snag.
got it.
But if you have a small chip in the corner of a room, it's a
Mm,
low priority snag, right?
got it. Got it. Okay, and then it helps. It enables whoever is the party, whether they're the buying party or whether they're the seller's party, to make decisions on how to act on that property, isn't it? Um,
So in India, at least, home inspection comes at a point just before the homeowner takes over from the builder.
okay.
It's not like in the US or in Australia or Singapore where a home inspection helps you decide whether you want to make the purchase or not.
I
In
see.
India, in
Okay.
India, the homeowner is at the last 10% of payment that needs to be done.
Mm,
He then goes and makes an audit and says, learns of the probable or potential shortcomings that an apartment or villa will have, which they can ask them to get by the builder repaired. Because once you move in, the headache then transfers to you. You will have
got
to take holiday, you will have to move, you'll have to do all of that. Otherwise, before you move in, if you do this, then since the builder's contractor is still on board, they will get all of this repaired. And now the RERA is in the picture.
it.
Quality is mandated by RERA for 5 years, right? So they are going to make sure that everything is spick and span before you move in.
But this is not ideal as it happens in India, no? Because you might be caught by surprise that okay, you have paid 90% of the deal, and now you might be. I mean, you not have walked on all the tiles. Maybe there's a tile which is
No, that's
standing on.
okay. You still have 10% payment. You can
Okay.
always get it replaced.
Ah, got it. Okay. Okay.
Well,
Cool.
there's all, yeah.
Nice. Thank you. I was not aware of this side of property management. By the way, how many cities, states are you in India?
Today we have our head offices in Bangalore. We
Hmm.
have franchisees in Chennai, two franchisees in Chennai,
Got
uh,
it.
one franchisee in Hyderabad, Visakhapatnam, Goa, Coimbatore,
Nice.
and Hyderabad. Yeah.
And since you mentioned that even today people are not aware of home inspection, what do you do for customer awareness for this one?
So the interesting thing about home inspection is it only comes to your mind when you are in the market for a property,
Hmm.
right? So it is a pull service. Now, if you're looking to buy a vehicle or if you're looking to buy a microwave, only then will you look at different types of microwaves.
Got it.
Otherwise, even if you see an advertisement for a microwave, you don't pay attention to it.
Hmm.
Similarly, only if you're in market for a home or a house or a villa or a secondary market will you ever think of it. So that's we're only able to advertise on it or have seminars and uh, conferences. We actually are having a seminar for the Resident Welfare Association on 4th of March, Saturday, 2023,
Hmm.
to be able to educate customers about this in
Got it.
Bangalore.
I would also assume since property management as a concept is fast catching up in India.
This is not property management. We don't do property management. We only do home inspection and we do resident welfare association audits.
No,
Property management is done by a Property management service, that's a
Yeah, yeah.
different
I'm,
company
I'm
altogether.
no, I'm saying property managers who manage properties of their clients would want to use your service for any kinds of before they do any repairs. They would want to do something of this sort, because I've not seen any property manager. As I told you before this interview, there is this person who manages around 400 apartments. I would assume that when he is doing onboarding, he would tie up with you or take your services to do an audit, so that he can tell his client of the kind of quality status of their apartment, isn't it? I'm just asking you, is do you see that there is a collaboration there with property managers?
There is a high possibility. We are very happy to work with them. We
Right.
are in talks with a lot of people. For
Mm.
example, housing.com, Magic Bricks, Adda, all of them list our services.
I
So
see. Got it. Excellent. um and maybe how do you offer your products? Like, what price points are they? How do you offer it? What's the
yeah, so
value and
we
cost?
offer it based on the slab. It's not on a per fair square. For an apartment, it's on a slab because the number of rooms kind of is
Mm.
fixed, and the amount we charge is based on the actual effort that some team puts in, plus
Right.
profit, of course. So 0 to 1,000 square foot is about 10,000 rupees,
Mm.
and 1,001 to 2,000 square foot is about 11,000 rupees. It goes like that.
Got it.
And we also have four slabs: silver, gold, platinum, and diamond. So it's a very detailed plan of what. So a diamond audit will have an inspection, a re-inspection to see whether everything has been rectified. Then
Mm.
an inspection after 6 months, and then an inspection after 12 months.
Right.
And we also do a 360-degree video shoot of your property and take you through your report. So
Nice.
there's a lot that a homeowner will be able to get if they take a diamond service.
Got it. So your primary customer base would be individual homeowners, or also say investors who might be willing to take over buildings, or maybe large institutionals as well, or
Yes, we provide a third party quality audit for individual homeowners,
mm,
for builders who are about to hand over a full apartment complex to the customers. The
mm,
builder will call us and say, why don't you do a audit on behalf of me rather than coming from the customer's side? In that case, we will only audit from the builder's side but not from the customer's side, because it's not fair to do both sides. So we'll only do the builder's side and give them a technical report, which then goes to their projects team, who then are able to make all these corrections so that when the customer comes in, they have a perfect apartments to move into.
nice. I was assuming that this you would be primarily focused on old buildings, but even the newly constructed buildings are tested by you, is it?
To give you
Nice.
an idea, a 2,000 square foot apartment in India, on
uh,
average, how many problems do you think we find?
a new one.
A new one, brand new one.
I have no clue.
168.
168 on a newly built. Yeah, I can imagine that there are some flaws while building, and some knickknacks here and there. But 168 is a big number, so that means in spite of building a new one, they still have gaps, is it?
On average, right? This is an average, so the numbers are very broad. And
Vary.
also
Mhm.
30% of them have some form of dampness.
Okay. And does this information reach to the end user or the buyer, or maybe the builder would hide some of this
No,
information?
no,
And
no. So there's no hiding point, right? If the builder has engaged us, the builder uses this information to rectify all the problems so that the end customer gets a perfect product. If the homeowner takes it from us, then he uses that information to give it to the builder to get a perfect product. Either case, the end customer benefits.
excellent, cool, nice. My last question here is, how is this space evolving in the next 5 years? Like, do you see more technology playing a role? Are you investing into further
Yes, we are definitely. We are working with another tech company who's helping us develop the product further,
right?
helping us make it more efficient, better, lighter, and also integrating a lot of these things into the app so that we don't have point solutions for different things. So
Mm,
that's the sense. And as you realized, I mean, when we started, there were maybe two or three companies. Today in Bangalore itself, there are five, six, or maybe seven people who claim to provide the service.
right.
So it is becoming a fertile market. It is becoming competitive,
Got
but we are ahead above the others because of the capacity and the lineage and the information that we bring to the table.
excellent. Well, this brings us to the end of this very, very informative conversation with Uday. Uday, thank you for sharing with us what it takes to give peace of mind to all the property owners. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ravi. Thanks.
See you around, Uday. Bye bye.
Bye.